You're listening to the Jiu Jitsu Lou podcast, and I'm Lou Temlett. I'm guessing you're having a good day because either you've been on the mats, considering getting on the mats, or maybe taking your best mate to train. I'm so happy you're here listening or watching this episode. Please don't tap out before the end. When you want to start a revolution, start training jiu-jitsu. I'd like to welcome Mills Lekka to my podcast.
Hey.
Hi Mills, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, amazing. Right, revolution. I don't often get the opportunity to say the word revolution. What's this all about?
Okay, so I'm out here trying to start revolution.
Where are you to start with?
Okay, I'm based in Greece, in the middle of nowhere, a city called Yanina, technically the 7th biggest city, but also tiny, really, really small, about the size of Guildford, I reckon.
We can connect with that, that's fine. Tell us more.
Okay, so I run one half of Her Fight Network. I do the Her Fight directory side. There's two sides, and I deal with the directory side itself. And on the directory, we collect names of female fighters across different sports, combat sports, whether it be jiu-jitsu, MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxing and boxing. Generally don't get so much of that. Mainly it's just the big three. And we have a directory where we collect women's information so that we can be the middlewoman between promoters and competitions and fighters themselves, because there isn't many women on fight cards and sometimes we have empty brackets for female fighters, and we're just trying to fill that gap to encourage more women to fight.
Amazing. This is a great thing, and I can't wait to hear more. But first of all, how are you involved in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu?
Okay, so I'm a coach myself. I started training around, I think, just over 8 years ago, I think. But now I've moved to Greece. Half of my family are from Greece, and I've come out to my roots, and I've opened a gym here in my dad's village, and I'm coaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu here, which I adore. I didn't think I could love anything more about BJJ, but apparently coaching is like definitely what I was born to do. I love it. I hope my students would say the same thing.
Oh, amazing. I think when we find the thing that we're supposed to do in life, it feels so much calmer, so much, or maybe more exciting, and just opens up so many other possibilities. Now, I know you're a purple belt. How long have you been running your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school?
We've only been open actually 6 months. As of next week, that's the 6-month anniversary. And I didn't intend to come out here and open a gym, but there's 2 other BJJ schools here. Nothing against them. I tried them both, but I'm used to the way we do things in England, and I just kind of wanted to continue that. So I opened my own place. I invited people to come. We now have regular students, and we're going to have our first grading in October. I won't be doing it. My black belt coach will be doing it, but I'm so excited.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So from maybe a year ago, not even realizing you're going to open a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, and now that's what you have. You're then towards the end of this year celebrating your first year. Yeah. And it sounds like life is going amazing.
It is. It's going really well. I think, like you said earlier, when you find your thing, things just fall into place. And that's kind of how it feels right now. Not that I want to jinx it, but hopefully it continues that way, because I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah. And,
amazing.
you know, jiu-jitsu, you kind of get addicted. I'm basically training morning till night now, and I love it.
Oh, yes. I hadn't put my brain into gear. So you can train whenever you want.
Well, it's limited to who I have available, but yes, we've currently got like PTs going on during the daytime, classes every evening, and if I can blag people to come a little earlier to roll, I do.
So from what I've seen and experienced in person and online, purple belts love to do solo drills. Is that true?
I don't know about solo drills. What I am obsessed with, and anyone will tell you, is prison rules. So anything that some gyms would be like, I don't want you doing that here, I love it. Calf slicers, bicep slicers, knee bars, wrist locks, any form of inverting.
Do not train with Mills purple belts.
I won't do it to everybody, but what I'm very proud of is out of my students, about 60% right now can A, do an Imanari roll, and B, kiss the dragon. Amazing.
Okay, amazing. Lou now goes to Google and Instagram searching for those keywords. I love it. I love it. And I love your enthusiasm for what you're doing. And
Thank
it
you.
just sounds like it's come out of the blue. But there's
Yeah.
a deeper passion to what you're supporting. Being a woman in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, we both know that there are a lack of competitors, other women to train with. And
Yeah.
it sounds like what you're doing with her fight directory is trying to fill some of those gaps. But
Yeah.
take me back to some of your fight experience, which I know you have.
Well, I started out initially obsessed with MMA. I actually threw myself far too far into the deep end and went from just being a gym goer, not even an avid gym goer, just using the gym. And then suddenly I'm doing like 2 to 3 classes a day back to back because I fell in love. I did burn out after a while, but I took a
Yeah.
break and came back, so it's fine. So I started off doing MMA. I then lost my MMA gym, it got shut down, and I had to move to a BJJ gym and then separately do boxing elsewhere. Now, my
Mm.
boxing coach, who actually is here with me, she also coaches where I am. She gave me a passion for boxing I didn't know I had. I knew I loved jiu-jitsu, I knew I liked punching things. I didn't know that I liked the structure and the discipline of boxing. So I ended up fighting specifically just boxing as well.
Yeah.
So I've competed in BJJ, fought as a boxer, fought as an MMA fighter. I hate kicking. I think I've
Okay.
kicked like once or twice in my fight career. I hate kicking. It's not my thing. So I found myself wanting to fight. I got as obsessed with fighting as I did with training. And I basically put the feelers out there. I said to anybody and everybody, if you need a female fighter, similar weight to mine, similar
Hmm.
experience to mine, let me know. I'm happy to jump on board and just stand in last minute. And this is at the time that there was like a really popular charity 8 weeks, get in the ring, get in the cage thing. I can't remember off the top
Oh.
of my head what it's called, but it
Mm.
was really popular in our area. So actually, almost every weekend, I got asked to stand in for a fight, whether it be for a proper fight or
Yeah.
like a charity type fight. And I loved it. But what it did make me realize is there was a disconnect between the promoters and female fighters because I knew there was female fighters. I'm one of them, and I trained with
Yeah.
loads of them. But promoters weren't finding them, and there was just that
Mm.
gap for whatever reason. And that's one of the things that inspired me to start the directory, along with my friend. Well, I say friend, we've become friends since, but a competitor called Danielle Tai. She's a brown belt. And I watched her on a couple of shows and I thought, Jesus, this girl's good. Oh, no, really. She's
Oh,
basically my.
I spotted her in Barcelona.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, she didn't know who I was, but I was like, "Oh, that's Danielle," and
I like
yeah,
her prison rule
amazing.
style. It's intimidating, it's brutal, it's passionate, and it just
Yep.
inspired me. And then she was talking with me one day about being frustrated that she couldn't get actual people to fight against her on
Mm.
shows. And someone had recently dropped out of a show she was meant to fight on, so she was losing her opportunity. And I said, well, we can't have that, because she was considering. She said she may even, want to quit fighting. I don't think she meant
Yeah.
it, but she was frustrated, and
Yeah.
I felt it. So
Yeah.
between that and my experience being a journeywoman myself by traveling to the different fight shows, I decided to set up the directory. Literally, as soon as I finished my conversation with her, I put out a message. I started an Instagram page. I basically started this call out. We have like matchmaking cards where we have all the information and say, share it. If you know someone
Yeah.
who could suit this, share it with them. And it went mad. It exploded overnight.
Wow.
I say overnight. Over the first couple of months, we ended up with
Yeah.
so hundreds of followers and so many women reaching out saying this is like a great idea. So then I just continued with it. It was clearly in demand.
Amazing. Now this
And we managed to
sounds
get
like,
her a fight.
oh, amazing. That's even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Relieving some of that frustration, but it sounds like the
Yeah.
frustration and the prison rule style is kind of what you need. I need to find some of that. I may be talking to you at some point.
Okay. Of course. I'm here.
Now, thank you. So, having an idea and acting on it kind of quite quickly sounds like it
I'm
serves
impulsive.
some of us to actually get stuff done and
Yeah.
deliver some amazing results. What else have you kind of done in life that, is that reactive and intuitive and you've kind of delivered? Obviously, you've got your gym. Is there anything
I was going to
else
say,
you've
other
got?
than spur of the moment moving to Greece and opening a BJJ gym.
Amazing, amazing.
Is this fight related? Does it have to be fight related?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if there's anything else that you want to share, or whether there's any things that have changed your life in a way that for the better.
I mean, okay, there's two major things I've done in my life. Three, actually. The directory,
Yeah.
moving to Greece, opening this place. And the other thing was I used to work as a labourer and the wage is terrible, but I loved being outside and being physical. And my boss had to let me go just before COVID because COVID. And I had rent to pay, bills to pay. I had to try to continue going to the gym, you know, different
Yep.
gym memberships are expensive. And when you do different disciplines, it's several gym memberships. So I just decided to start my own business. I became a roofer and I started my own female only building maintenance, property maintenance business. And that went really well, actually. People loved it and I loved doing it. But anyway, all of that goes to say, and I'm sorry if I'm speaking fast, I'm passionate about it.
It's good. It's
Um,
good.
all of that goes to say the best decisions I've ever made in my life, not just for my own future and my own progress, but for others around me, have been ones that I've made fairly impulsively. I don't think impulsivity is always a bad thing. I think sometimes your gut is just letting you know it's
Yeah.
good to go for it because I've got
Yep.
you, sort of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. This podcast wouldn't have happened unless I had the idea and literally just got on with it. It's the
By
idea
the
and then
sounds of
the
it, you're very
immediate
similar.
action,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is, and I kind of felt like there was something else that you'd done.
Mm.
Don't ask me what, but it's just having that, let's do something female led. Let's just
Yeah.
have that thought, but then
I am a
having
raging feminist as well, and I don't take any shame in saying that.
good, good. But yeah, having the thought, making the action, having enough energy to make the action, and then make
Yeah.
things happen. And if it doesn't,
You
if it doesn't
know,
work, you've done it.
yeah, you know how you said before we started this in the pre-interview chat, that you've got loads of things that you've wanted to do, and you've thought, well, why can't I do it? Of course I could do it if I try. Everyone can do anything. Just put your mind to it and give it a go. That's my rule of life, really. If someone else can do it, why can't I?
Amazing. This is the Jiu Jitsu Lou podcast with me, Lou Temlett, coming to you from the UK. Go and check out the latest video clips over on jiu.jitsu.lu. And as you're listening or watching on your favourite podcast platform, I'd really appreciate you dropping the show a rating and a review. Today, I'm having a conversation with Mills Lekka, co-founder you're founder of Her Fight Directory. That's right, isn't it?
Technically, founder of the directory, co-founder of the network. Yeah.
Aha. Thank you, Mills. Before this goes absolutely down the pan at nearly midnight in the UK and even later in Greece, tell me about a bit more about the directory and how that's kind of working to bring more women to fight cards in the UK and around the world, maybe.
We do cover the UK and Europe, so yes.
Okay.
Maybe not the world, but Europe, yeah. So
Not yet.
our main...
Not yet.
No, soon take over the world. We have some main incentives. So currently we are offering the directory where we help females get matched for whether it be a fight show or help them fill a bracket on a competition. We also have the map where Her Fight Directory map where we help connect women from all over the UK and Europe. The map itself shows where female coaches are, or women's open mat, or women related locations within the combat sports world. And the other side of Her Fight Directory, so Her Fight Network, she does sparring days. And now collectively, we're going to do the Her Fight Network Fund. That's what we'd like to announce. The Her Fight Network Fund, yeah.
Amazing. So this is bringing the directory and the network together, but in a charitable
joining forces.
Sense. Okay.
Yes. So we've realised that what we try to do is facilitate ways to encourage and support more women to do as much as they can or want to within the sport fight world. So connecting women on shows and the map, etc. But now we want to help financially because one of the main reasons women struggle to get to levels that maybe they could get to is finance. So men get sponsored, women get less sponsored, but that's not the only thing. We all have bills to pay. I mean, the rate of inflation right now is mad. So we have created the fund where we're going to run events in the UK and in Greece. The events are going to be sparring days, seminars, open mats, and the 100% of our profit from those events. So obviously we have to pay the venues, etc. But 100% of our take-home profit will go towards the Her Fight Network Fund. And at the end of each year, we already have the end of year awards where we give prizes for categories such as the best BJJ competitor, the best MMA fighter. But now we're going to have dedicated categories for the fund itself, where the people who follow Her Fight Network and Her Fight Directory, they can suggest someone who they believe deserves some help towards their goal. And the money itself will be divvied up into the 3 categories: MMA, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and equally divided, and it will be given as money. The reason we're doing that is because if we give gifts or items, maybe it won't help the fighters as much as money will. So people can use that however they wish. If they want to pay a bill so that they can then pay their gym membership, that's fine. If you want to buy yourself a new gi, that's fine. It's completely up to you. But it's up to the people that follow us to decide who they believe deserves that. So if your coach is trying to get to the IBJJF Worlds next year and they need some finance towards that, vote them in. Or for instance, if you have a friend who just needs a new gi, because gis are expensive, vote them in. So we're just trying to cover all aspects of why a competitor or fighter may struggle, and we're trying to help ease and alleviate that.
Her Fight Network Fund sounds amazing. Just being able to facilitate and enable more women to fight on kind of main cards or to do whatever their goal is. What have you seen so far with regards to individual goals? I know I've got some friends that want to get to Worlds and kind of others that have aspiration, but there's a block. Why do you think we have such a block with sponsorship for female fighters? Is it really easier for men to get sponsorship?
I think so. There's two trails of thought with this. There is the trail of thought where it is harder for women to get sponsorship because less women are on fight cards and therefore less women are visible. So your brand isn't getting as much visibility as it would through a guy. The second trail of thought is there is that stereotype that, and I don't like it at all, but there is a stereotype that young, attractive BJJ girls, they're going to get sponsored. Oh, you hear a lot of guys say it, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. And I think regardless of the situation itself, if we ourselves can facilitate something that, regardless of where you're from, how you look, what gym you go to, what discipline you do, it's all an even playing field. Let's just distribute equally, and that's what we're trying to aim towards.
That's amazing. I'd love you to talk a bit more about the Her Fight directory right now. How have you kind of found kind of putting that together? It's very successful. Tell me some more kind of juicy details about the directory so that people can go and find out about that.
Yeah, for sure. So the directory Instagram handle is Her Fight Directory. And on there, we have a link tree. Within the link tree, you can find everything we do, all the events that we're doing, the fund itself and the explanation for the fund, because it's late. Maybe I've done a bad job. Go check out that link tree and check out the explanation. It will do a better job than I'm doing right now. And also on the directory itself, you have 3 forms on the link tree. 1 form for the BJJ fighters, 1 form for the strikers, and 1 form for the MMA fighters. You can enter yourself in and it automatically sends it to us. We get it automatically categorized. And then every time a promoter comes to us, we search on a spreadsheet for what they're looking for, and then you will come up. So if you are an active fighter or you would like to be more active as a fighter, get yourself into the directory. And hopefully we can get more women on more fight cards, on more of those posters. So there's more visibility, more girls growing up in this industry will think, oh, I can do that, because there's more visibility.
I love that, having the opportunity. So if anyone listening would love to be on a fight card at some point, submit your details. I'm a kind of a brand and visual person, so I would always want a nice kind of professional headshot to be able to kind of accompany what that looks like. But I'm sure all these things kind of come into play. But if you have that aspiration and you're having that intuitive thought and you want to take action, go and find her fight directory, load your details in. Who knows?
Especially white and blue belts, because one of the first things we're going to do, the first fundraising event we're going to do for her fight fund, it's an interclub, a BJJ interclub, sub only, gi and no gi. Details are to come this week, next week. I'm not sure when this is being posted, but we are announcing, and we're going to start getting some people matched together to fight. So that's going to be our first fundraising event, and we would like to really use white and blue belts, because I feel like you guys need, a little bit more attention in the fight world, I think.
Absolutely. And I think, being a white belt, I've had my first competition. I kind of took the trip to go to Barcelona in May.
Nice.
But just having that idea and inspiration, I know some people kind of feel like they should wait until later belts to compete or to, take part. But hear it now, there are opportunities as white belts to be on this. And I know a number of my previous guests and many of my listeners will be interested. So go and check it out. It sounds like an amazing opportunity to get yourself out there.
One of the reasons we've chosen to do it is because sometimes I think fighters can find going straight to a competition a bit intimidating, but an open mat, totally fine. Interclub is basically an open mat, really. So we're just trying to facilitate, again, a safe space for women to just experience that, so that they can get further than maybe they thought they could.
I'd love to go back to your fight days, and you referenced the term journeywoman. Now, I've not heard that before. Can you explain a bit more?
I don't know if I've coined the term or if it already exists. I'm sure it already exists.
Well, if you explain, and then you kind of we'll understand what the term is.
Yeah, so essentially a journeyman fighter is a guy who specifically trains to be available at any given moment. So you could get a phone call from a promoter and say, hey, I need you next weekend. Can you come and fight X, Y, and Z? And you do. So I am the female version of that. I did it for MMA and boxing. And people just basically gave me a call and said, I have a girl who needs fighting. We haven't managed to find a match for her. Can you stand in? At some of the time, because there wasn't many women that did what I did. In fact, I don't really know many at all. Sometimes I would have to fight people who were more experienced or less experienced, or some who were completely green. Like the promoters would say to me, just go give them like a good experience. So they leave feeling confident. No, it's good. I actually think that's a really good thing. Yeah, I had my purpose, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't so much enjoy when I fought people who were heavier and more experienced, but it's fine.
I know, kind of having those combinations, it's what you choose on your repertoire that you have an advantage in. And maybe sometimes you don't have an advantage, and it sounds like,
I enjoyed it for the thrill of it. Yeah.
So you talk about the thrill of doing these things. What was the best experience for you being a journeywoman?
I actually lost, but the most fun experience for me was I got a phone call whilst I was abroad. I was like 13 hours away, and I got a message just saying, hey, can you come fight on the show? And I was like, okay, I land on this time, and then it's at this time, literally like the day after I land, not even 24 hours. I was like, okay, yeah, I think I could do it. And then I got, the message was first, then I got a phone call saying, can you do the day afterwards for another one? I was like, I'll make it work. So I jumped off a plane. I had a nap. I went to one fight show, and then I went to the second fight show, and it was an exhilarating experience, one that I think was fairly unique. And like I said, the first one was just for someone who was very green. I was asked to just, go around the ring and give them experience, and that was nice because I just got off a flight. Second one, heavier than me and really packed a punch. So not so fun.
Oh, amazing. And I think this reflects the impulsive nature. Sometimes you have to just say yes and
Yeah.
just go and do what you need to do.
I
Because,
know I'm on the extreme end here. Sorry to interrupt. I think the delay's here. I know I'm on the extreme end, but I think for a lot of the circumstances, if we take away the huge pressure of I have to win,
yeah,
I know it's really cliche, but just go and have fun. Like, just go and have
yes,
fun. Because that's where you're going to get your experience by not being so pressured about winning all the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Okay, I've not asked this for a while, but what advice would you give to someone going into a fight that might be part of kind of signing up, expecting to sign up and have a fight on Her Fight Directory or kind of anywhere else, or maybe stepping into their first competition? Any advice?
Study breath work, yoga
Ooh,
breath work, study that. My friend who coaches with me and my ex-boxing coach, she does this breathwork thing. I don't know necessarily what it's called, but I see her do it all the time. And she has walked into a fight having done very little preparation and fought like Mike Tyson and just been at a rapid rate. And I was like, how have you even done that? I've been nagging you for weeks to actually like do some cardio ready for this fight, and then you've just gone in there and smashed it. And it's all down to breath work. So I suggest studying breath work. I think it's like learning to balance your heart rate under stressful breath conditions, because we all
yeah,
know when as you're about to walk into the ring or as you're about to step onto the mats or go into the cage, your heart is going at like a ridiculous rate. However
yeah.
much you try to compose it through other ways, just controlling your breath and yeah, breath work, that would be it.
Amazing. I love that. Mills, this has been an
Yes.
absolute whirlwind.
Sorry. I
It's
have chatted a
amazing.
lot.
No, I love it. I love it. This is why I am here recording podcasts late on a Sunday night. This is my purpose. And your purpose is to continue with Her Fight Network Fund and the directory and lots of other amazing things. Now, you've got the launch coming up. How can people find out about that, apart from your link tree, or maybe just remind people which Instagram accounts people can find
Yeah.
you on?
So just keep an eye on our socials over the next couple of days. In fact, it may have already happened. I'm not sure. We'll see. So the Instagram handles are Her Fight Network and Her Fight Directory. We sort of cohabit when we're doing things that are we've worked on together. So you'll see it on either of the pages. Yeah, you can find us on there.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you
We
so much for
will.
having me.
I cannot wait to hear the successes and fighters that come through your directory. I think it's an amazing thing. Part of our mission is to bring more women and girls to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and martial arts in general, and
For sure,
just
yeah.
to enable the safe space that it is to continue training for many, many years to come.
We are always open to new ideas. Our DMs are always open. So if anybody has any suggestions of how we could help the female fight community, let us know, because we've tried some things, maybe it hasn't worked, we've lost them, and we'll just keep evolving with every suggestion that comes to us, and we'll stick whatever is really helping people. And if you want to get involved, again, just send us a DM.
Mills, you're amazing.
So are you.
I wasn't looking for a compliment, but I will
You
receive
got one
it in
anyway.
the way it's meant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Keep in touch.
Yeah, I will do. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for telling your friends about this show. And as soon as this episode ends, I'd really appreciate you dropping the show a rating and a review. Thanks again for listening. Catch you on the next episode of the Jiu Jitsu Lou podcast.